Eamonn Holmes angry at the state of the country as he slams Labour. During Monday's GB News show, Eamonn Holmes fiercely criticized the Labour government's approach to winter fuel payments. While discussing with co-host Isabel Webster the potential for Labour to increase capital gains tax, the 64-year-old broadcaster launched into a passionate tirade about the state of the country, reports The Express. He questioned, "Why is the government obsessed with clawing back money from all of us? They won with a massive majority and they have this huge gain in seats. So why do they then want to make themselves incredibly unpopular straight away with elderly pensioners taking away their winter fuel allowance?" Holmes continued, expressing his exasperation with the tax system. "The state of this country with taxes is untrue. I mean, what is value-added tax, VAT? Do I have value-added tax on my spectacles? No idea. Why do some things have value-added tax and some don't?" Webster offered an alternative perspective, suggesting that the government's stance might be, "They have picked up at this huge black hole. There are all these unfunded policies that the Conservatives had no intention of paying for, and they have got to be the responsible party and sort that out. Why are the government obsessed with clawing back money from all of us?" Eamonn Holmes expresses discontent with the state of Britain and taxes, saying, "It is untrue," whilst hitting out at Labour for their winter fuel raid. Pick. Eamonn challenged the mainstream perspective, saying, "But we've ticked along quite nicely owing money in the past. Most countries around the world owe money. Why this obsession with doing all the bad things and the hard things first?" This comes after Chancellor Rachel Reeves highlighted the gravity of future financial decisions when she mentioned the need to address a £22 billion black hole in public finances, as stated by Labour. The situation has led to apprehensions concerning additional cuts, notably following Labour's move to reduce winter fuel payments for pensioners. There is ongoing speculation about potential tax hikes in the upcoming budget, especially because Labour has pledged not to raise national insurance, income tax, or VAT. Today, Sir Keir Starmer is set to commit to eliminating red tape he believes unnecessarily restricts investment. The government holds that attracting international investment is key to fulfilling its objectives of generating employment, increasing living standards, and enhancing communities and family well-being across the nation. At its inaugural International Investment Summit, the government is anticipated to announce sizable investment agreements in sectors like AI, life sciences, and infrastructure. During his landmark speech at the summit, Sir Keir plans to present the UK as a dependable option for investors, promising that he will do everything in my power to galvanize growth, including getting rid of regulation that needlessly holds back investment. His words will include, "We have a golden opportunity to use our mandate to end chop and change, policy churn and sticking plasters that make it so hard for investors to assess the value of any proposition. We have the determination, the focus on clear long-term ends, a mission-led mindset that thinks in years, not the days or hours of the news grid, needed to unlock that potential. Do not doubt that." Eamonn Holmes slams Labour over state of the country, a deep dive. In recent weeks, veteran broadcaster Eamonn Holmes has stirred considerable discussion with his candid remarks about the current state of the UK and his critical view of the Labour Party. Holmes, known for his outspoken nature, has been a prominent figure in British media, and his perspectives often reflect broader public sentiment. This article explores his criticisms, the context surrounding them, and the implications for the Labour Party and the nation. The background of Eamonn Holmes. Eamonn Holmes has been a fixture in British television for decades, with a career spanning various shows, including This Morning and GB News. His engaging style and ability to tackle contentious issues head-on have made him a respected, if sometimes polarizing, figure in the media landscape. Recently, Holmes has used his platform to voice his frustrations about the political climate in the UK, particularly focusing on the Labour Party's performance and policies. Holmes' critique of the current state. In a series of interviews and broadcasts, Holmes expressed his anger over what he perceives as the declining state of the country. He highlighted issues such as the cost of living crisis, rising inflation, and public dissatisfaction with governmental effectiveness. His assertion that the Labour Party is failing to provide a viable alternative to the Conservative government has resonated with many viewers who share his concerns. Holmes specifically called out Labour's leadership, criticizing Keir Starmer's approach as lacking urgency and clarity. He argued that the party has not sufficiently addressed pressing issues such as the economy, healthcare, and education. This critique is particularly relevant as the UK approaches a general election, where the Labour Party hopes to regain power after years in opposition. Public reaction. Holmes' comments have sparked significant debate across social media platforms and news outlets. Supporters of his views argue that he is articulating a frustration that many feel about the lack of effective leadership in the country. They appreciate his willingness to confront political leaders and demand accountability. Conversely, critics of Holmes argue that he oversimplifies complex issues and unfairly targets the Labour Party while overlooking challenges faced by the Conservative government. This back and forth has fueled discussions about media bias and the responsibilities of public figures in political discourse. The Labour Party's response. In response to Holmes' criticisms, Labour officials have attempted to articulate their vision for the country. Starmer has emphasized a commitment to tackling the cost of living crisis and reforming public services. However, many within the party acknowledge the challenge of communicating a coherent message amid a rapidly changing political landscape. Political analysts suggest that Holmes' comments may serve as a wake-up call for the Labour Party to refine its strategies and policies. With an election on the horizon, the party must find ways to engage voters who feel disillusioned or unheard. The broader context. Holmes' anger is not just personal, it reflects a growing sentiment among the British public. Polls indicate rising dissatisfaction with political leaders across the spectrum, driven by economic hardships and social issues. The current government's handling of these challenges has faced scrutiny, leading many to seek alternatives. The landscape of UK politics has shifted significantly over the past few years. The fallout from Brexit, the COVID-19 pandemic, and subsequent economic challenges have left many feeling uncertain about the future. In this context, the role of media personalities like Holmes becomes increasingly crucial in shaping public opinion and political discourse. Conclusion. Eamonn Holmes' outspoken criticism of the Labour Party and his concerns about the state of the country resonate with many who feel frustrated by the political status quo. As the UK navigates these turbulent times, the call for effective leadership and clear communication from all political parties becomes ever more urgent. Whether Holmes' remarks will influence the Labour Party's strategies moving forward remains to be seen, but they undoubtedly highlight the pressing need for accountability and a renewed vision for the future. In the end, the intersection of media, politics, and public sentiment continues to evolve, and figures like Eamonn Holmes will play a pivotal role in shaping the national conversation. As the political landscape shifts, the demand for effective leadership and genuine engagement with the electorate will remain paramount, making the upcoming election a crucial moment for all parties involved.